Happy New Year from Move to Improve. I'm Susie. Have you noticed that we're being bombarded with lots of different workouts and gadgets and pills and different potions that are promising to get us into our ideal shape in hardly any time at all? Anything worth achieving doesn't come easily or quickly. And it couldn't be more true than in fitness. I'm going to give you the dirty lowdown on fitness today, and we can just forget about all that stuff that's out there right now until it calms down. Today we'll talk about the components of fitness, what that means. Let's get started today on a safe path to get where you want to be. So get some water, some comfortable clothes, and I'll see you in a minute. In order to achieve your fitness goals, or actually any other goals this year, you need to first improve your self-talk. That inner voice inside of you that tells you how you feel and what you're going to do. And sometimes it's a bad voice. It tells you, no, you don't want to work out. You're the lazy person. Maybe you've been labeled that you're lazy. You don't finish projects. You don't do this. A lot of times that happens with people. We get labeled. And that builds pathways in your mind if you hear the same thing over and over that, oh, you'll never finish this or you'll never accomplish that. So I want you to get rid of that. First thing this year is we're going to make a list in your own handwriting, 4 or 5 things about yourself that are really positive. And I know that's hard to do sometimes because you're not used to telling yourself, oh, I'm good at this and, people like me for this reason. So I want you to think about that and write it down. And it can be anything like, I'm a good person. I take care of my family. I volunteer. Things like that. Positive things about you so that you can continue to say those things over and over to yourself. I can finish projects. Write it down. And it does make sense though, because you'll see it just like propaganda. Propaganda is just repeating the same thing over and over. Of course, it's not true, but over and over until it builds pathways in people's brains. You can do a reverse on yourself by continuing to tell yourself, you're a good person, you can do this, you want to, I don't know what your fitness goals are. And like I said, fitness looks different from one person to the next. It can look totally different. You might want to gain muscle, you might want to lose weight, you might want to get more limber. So we're going to convince ourselves that we're worth being fit. And you are worth it. We're not going to need all those gadgets that we've been bombarded with. We're going to start a real basic program, an outline of sorts, so that you know what you're doing. And you'll have your positive thought that you know you can do this. So let's talk about the components of fitness. What is it? What does it mean to be fit? The first component of fitness is cardio, moving, using oxygen, aerobics. The American Heart Association recommends 150 minutes of cardio per week if it's moderate. Intense cardio, they recommend 75 minutes per week. So if it's moderate, maybe just walking, and that would work out to 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week, or 25 minutes a day for 6 days a week. Just moving. It doesn't have to be anything very intense, just a half hour of maybe walking through the department store, bringing it up a little bit, your level, until you can start to feel that you're getting breathy. That is cardio. The way I do it, instead of using a chart with all the heart rates and ages, I use perceived exertion. I think that's going to be an easier place for you to start to monitor how hard you're working.
We'll aim between 6, which is moderate activity, and 7, which starts vigorous activity, on the perceived exertion chart.
So if you're going for a walk and you're able to talk and carry on a big conversation, you're not moving enough. So you want to pick up the pace until you feel a little breathy. You can still talk to your partner while you're walking, but it's mostly just a sentence, and then you have to regroup, maybe say another sentence. So it's not like you can give a big dissertation, but you can still talk a sentence. If you can't talk a sentence and you're running so fast that you have drool coming out of your mouth, your heart rate is too high. So stick with that moderate. Now, if you're an experienced person and you've worked out before and you're just getting back into it and you want to do a little intense cardio, that's about 75 minutes per week. And that would be something like step aerobics or running. But there's so many ways that you can get cardio. You can swim, you can bike. Walking's probably your best way to get started. Walk some hills. One of my favorites is just blasting the music and dancing. I love to dance. It's not pretty, but I like it. Next up is resistance training. That can be anything that puts pressure on your skeletal system and muscular system. You can be doing push-ups against the wall. You can be lifting weights, yoga, any type of calisthenics that give you some resistance, like push-ups. That's resistance training, and you need that to build muscle and keep your bones strong. So we should do that 2 to 3 times a week. When I started back in 1982, way back then, I started with 3 days a week, and I did my entire body. I did an upper and lower body workout, which didn't last for very long, maybe 20 minutes to a half hour, 3 times a week. So that got me conditioned because I was really weak when I started. I was a smoker and I wanted to stop smoking, and I had to take up another habit. So that's been almost 42 years ago, and I think the workout has done more for me. So if you really want to kick a habit or just get your body in better shape and your mind in better shape, you want to keep moving. That's the whole point. Keep moving and get excited about it. I love my workouts, and I get excited because I know that I'm doing something good for myself and keeping myself in shape so that I can do my own chores and that sort of thing. So the resistance training, try to get it in, like I said, 2 or 3 times a week. I did mine 3 times a week, and that was fine, and I did some of the other things in the days between. Next up is flexibility. We work our muscles, and then we have to stretch the muscles and become flexible so that we can do the things that we need to do without pulling the muscles. So we need to stretch, and that should be done 2 or 3 days a week. And try to hold the stretch for 10 to 30 seconds. And the fourth component of fitness is balance. Balance is everything as we age, and we need to work on that every day, or as many days as possible. It can be something simple as standing on one foot, just challenging yourself, but that needs to be done every day. So those are the 4 components of fitness: cardio, resistance training, flexibility, and balance. When you write down your positive points about yourself and you put it on the refrigerator, make sure that you also have a target. You write down exactly what your goal is. If you do that, it'll materialize a lot easier. So make sure that you write down, I want this out of my fitness program, and then you can gear toward that. Let's do a little sample workout. Take a big inhale, exhale down, and I like to start by just marching or walking, and just lift the knees and breathe. Hold the stomach in. There are a lot of things you can do for cardio. This is just most basic, is just lifting the legs and pumping the arms. And if you need to get that heart rate up higher, you'll just simply lift the legs and the arms. When you get started in fitness, you really don't want to make it too difficult or too confusing, because that's when that negative self-talk comes in and it says, oh, it's okay, it's too much. It's not too much. If you can march. I can feel my heart rate going up already. Now I'm going to add a heel dig. I think I'll pump my arms while I do it. It gives me some good cardio. And just breathe. When I'm working out, I can't think of anything else. And that's such a nice thing, when you can just kind of blank out for a little bit, maybe get away from work and all of that stuff. 4 more. 3, 2. We'll go back to marching in between moves. So you can always come back to just marching. And if you need 30 minutes a day, you don't need to do it all at one time. You can do 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening, or 10 and 10, whatever you can get in. I just need to know that you'll continue, because I know you want to. Okay, let's add a different move. I'm going to step wide and then step close. I'm going to pump the arms. These are just basic moves, but they get that blood flowing. And weightlifting and fitness can be repetitive, and it needs to be repetitive. 4 more. 3, 2. We go back to marching. March it, lift them, pump it. Get an attitude. And breathe. Aging with attitude. Keep it going. Next move we're going to add on is just a stepping side to side. I know you see me do this a lot if you've been watching the shows, but it's a nice basic lateral move. I think I'll change the arms up. You can do anything with the arms while you're working out. If it's too much, you don't need the arms. If you're in a chair, you can do upper body. Say your lower body, if you're in the chair, get your cardio this way. Or, maybe you have a leg injury. There are ways around it, so I just want you to, think about that. Let's do 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Squats are really important. We need to get up and down off of furniture, and we need to keep our legs strong. So you don't have to use weights to start, as long as you do the move. You just come down and come back up. And when you come back up, come up and really squeeze the shoulder blades. Make it a nice all-over body workout. And try to come down to almost parallel and come back up. If you can only come down this far, that's okay. I don't know what your knees are like, but I know you need strong quads so that you can, get up and down. Now, another thing we can do for resistance is just come to the wall. I'll have my hands shoulder width, a little wider than shoulder width. And I'll step back, bring the arms straight out, and then I've got to find my position. And then inhale, and then push yourself back up. Oh, this is a good stretch too. Now I'm holding my stomach in, inhale down, exhale back. And my heels are on the floor. I don't let them come up. I'm getting a nice stretch in my calves as I do this. And if this is too much, you can start out with just pushing into the wall as you're pulling your stomach in. This is good resistance training. And you can do fun things while you're there. You can lift the leg. Maybe you can do this or push up and bring it down. Yeah, that feels good. But whatever feels good, you can be here. You can be up here doing push-ups. Just get strong. Another thing good for your legs would be a lunge. You can hold onto the wall and just come down and back up. So you'll come down and the knees over the ankle and come back up. Inhale down, exhale up. These are just sample workouts of things that you can do. And I know that you can stick with them. And if you can't do the full exercise, you can come here. Maybe come down a little bit. You've got that resistance on the quad. So just start small and build up. Let's take it to the other side. Step back. My feet are hip width apart. I don't want my foot back here tracking with the other foot. So try to keep it in line and come down and back up. Inhale down, exhale up. Oh, that feels good. I've got my shoulder blades together and my shoulders back and down. Now when I come up, I'm flexing my quadricep. Good job. And don't worry if it feels awkward at first. It always does. So make sure you keep some upper body and lower body exercises in your routine. Now that we've built all that muscle, we need to be flexible. So you can put your hand on the wall and step 1 foot back, 1 foot forward. And my feet again are hip width apart. And just stretch. This is your hip flexor, and I can feel mine's a little tight. So I'm going to lean into it. And just hold this stretch for 10 to 30 seconds so that your body realizes what's going on. And breathe. You can sink down a little lower into that if you need to. And come up, and I'm going to take it to the other side. Take the opposite leg back. When I turn around, I always wonder, did I have that leg back or was it this leg? So, I'm not the only one that does that. Okay, step back and just feel this stretch here. This is good to stretch. This is one of the basic stretches that I like because a lot of times our jobs require us to sit, and so we're folded here, and this takes it the other way so that it's not uneven pulling on your low back. If you're too tight, then you're stretching your low back. So you want to open this up so you can get back there into good posture again. And bring it up, back to the other side. You can just put your foot here in your hand and stretch out here. If that's too much, just wrap a towel around your ankle and just hold on to it that way and kind of challenge yourself. And let's hold it and breathe. I hope you had nice holidays. I was hoping for snow and we didn't get. any on Christmas. But that's okay. I'm sure this month we'll get some, whether we want it or not. And release. We'll take it to the other side. You never know in Pittsburgh what the weather's going to be. Hold it here. Oh, that feels good. Okay, and bring it down. Let's take this leg forward. And I want to stretch out the hamstring. So I'm going to put my hand for balance on the knee that's bent and just kind of push back through the tailbone and sit back. Oh, I can really feel that. And after the holidays, you get a little stiff from all the extra stuff going on that you do. Pull that toe toward you. Take the toe down. Bring it back up. Let's take it to the other side. So just stick this foot out. The reason I don't want you to put your hand here, sometimes I make a mistake and do that, but I catch myself because if you put pressure, if you have any knee problems and put that pressure on it, you can hyperextend. So just be safe and put it over here to be on the safe side. The main thing about your new workout is not to get injured, because if you get injured and do some wild, crazy fitness fad, something that you're not ready for, then you get an injury and then your workout's done. So just be careful. We want to make sure that you do things safely with intention. That way you can continue on and stay fit. The last component is balance. Balance is so important. So we need to practice that every day, remember? So let's stand on one foot, stand tall. Now you could start out by the wall and get used to standing on one foot the way it feels, and then push away from the wall. So get your balance. Stay tall. Try it on the other side. Get your balance. It helps to look at a spot away from you and focus on it. So you can always grab the wall if you need to. Just, put a finger on it. If you need the whole hand on it, then pretty soon you might only need one finger. And then pretty soon you're out there. So we need to work on that every day. And when you're doing this, try to stay tall, pull in, and focus. There's a lot of shaking there. That's good though, because it's letting my muscles know that I need to work on it and I need to focus. Try stepping in different directions and keeping your balance. If you got a gym membership for Christmas this year, I just have a couple things to say. If you're new to going to the gym, make sure that you talk to the management and get a trainer or someone that works there to at least give you an orientation of the equipment and what you should be doing. And a lot of times they'll give you a program too. So make sure that you talk with them so that you know how to safely get through the gym, because not everyone that is working out in the gym knows what they're doing. And they might, give you a bad start. So you want to start safely so that you can continue on forever, for the rest of your life. Be 42 years for me coming up this year. So I'm so thankful. And I enjoy my life a lot because I can do things. I try to stay in shape. I've got aches and pains, but working out helps alleviate that. So good luck. I really know you can do it. You can achieve your goals this year. Just do it. You've got this. I'll see you next time.